Thank you, thank you. So I'm a beekeeper from Central New York. Sassy Sarah, thanks for coming in. Sorry I didn't come in last night. I've got a lot of things going on. Sarah, can you do me a favor? If you can see me, would you do me a favor and put a yes in the comments? Because it keeps telling me there's no face detected. And I can't take the screen off because, all right, thanks very much. Well, then I'm gonna get going here and hopefully this will continue. So I've got my little friend here. It's gonna be very handy. I can't say the stuff that's coming out of it. I'm gonna try really hard not to say that because I guess that's a bad word too. So I just decided to turn my data on my phone and turn off my internet for my house and see if that works, because I really want to start going live out here for you guys instead of just videos. So it's kind of chilly here. It's probably in the, I'd say the 50s. So it's not the best time to go into the bees, but I still have to get some things done. So I'm going to work quickly, and this is what we're going to do, and hopefully they'll be nice and you won't see me get stung. So let's do it. So what I got to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of this at the front of the hive, and I'm going to try to finagle this so it will move with me. Thank you very much, guys, because what's going to happen is it's going to tell me there's no face as soon as I show you what I'm doing down here. I'm just going to give them a little of this at the front of the hive. Then I'm going to come back up. Hopefully they'll be okay with my face again. And I've got to feed these guys. It says no face, so I don't know whether it's going to let me do this or not. So it may shut me down. I don't know. So basically this is hive number 1. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to feed these guys. We're feeding them sugar water to get them through the winter. Now, this is the feeder. Ooh, lots of ants in this one. Let me bring you a little bit closer. Hopefully, because I have some movement. It still keeps saying there's no face. But hopefully, because I'm moving things around, they'll be okay with it. We'll see. So I'm going to get the bees out of here. And then, and they're starting to come up and say, hey. All right, out you go. You too. Come on. In or out, in or out. All right, so let's see what's going on down in here. I see something I'm not real pleased with. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to open up the top of this hive because I'm a tad bit concerned here. So there's a some of my beetle traps are looking interesting. Looks like they're dropping pollen on it for some reason. So let me move these guys. It's pretty cold. They're moving real slow tonight. So I'm just going to move them aside so that hole where they feed, they can get up near that a little easier. Wow, why are they putting all the pollen up here? This is interesting. See all the pollen, guys? I don't know why they're doing that. Well, you know what? Since I'm in here, don't sting me. I felt you. All right, I'm going to give them a little bit of this here. It's really pretty cool out here tonight, so they're moving super, super slow. I'm just going to give you a real quick peek in this hive, and then I'm going to put those back on. Hopefully they'll be nice, because they really don't like to be bothered when it's this chilly. But I'm going to show you real quick what they're doing down in here. This is called a super. It's where they keep the honey. And they're actually doing this, storing up their honey for the winter. And I'm going to pull this out of here and show you. This one they're just building comb out on. So what they do is I actually will paint on the wax so it saves them time. And you can see where it was real flat here, and they're starting to build this comb up so that they can fill it with honey. But this group is pretty slow. I'm going to put them out here real quick on the railing, and we're going to go a little bit deeper just to show you. Now I'm going to go into one of the other hives and I'm going to add a brood box, but right at the end I've got a few more hives to feed, and I got to be really fast with this because I don't want them out long. If you look at this frame, there is actually honey that they've stored up, if everybody can see that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back together really quick, because like I said, it is cold and they don't want to be out here. So we're not going to torture them long. I'm not torturing them. I shouldn't use that word. We're not going to bother them long. So I'm going to put this one back together, and you can see there's some bees on here. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to get them right off the edge here. Matter of fact, I might just get them all off of here, so that they will move away, so I can put this top back on. I'll get that top right back on there for them. Let's get this hive tool out of the way. We'll go ahead and put the feeder back on. You can see there's some ants in there, so I'm going to scrape those guys out. We'll just chuck that out there somewheres. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put this back in here. And what this is the way this feeder works is the sugar water will be poured around the outside. And if you've ever taken a glass and pushed it down into the tub or whatever when you were a kid, or into the sink, and you notice that the top of the cup stays empty, same deal. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there, so the liquid inside the inner cup will be a different depth, a smaller depth than the sugar on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. We'll fill that right up. Get them fed, make them happy. And I'm going to wave my hand around here just to keep TT happy a little bit when I'm moving away, so that you guys know what I'm doing for the camera's sake. And we're going to put this hive back together. We're going to leave this one alone, so that they can keep storing up their honey. Now, I'm going to move on to, I'm going to put these guys right down near the front of the hive so that they can go back in. Hopefully they will. And we're going to move on to a different hive that I've got to work on. And that hive is over here. And this is a small hive, as you can see. And we're going to put another box on top of that. So I'm going to get my helper here to bring that box up. And it's got feed in this one too. But what I have to do with this hive, we'll do the same thing with this, but I'm going to leave these guys in here for just a minute. You could probably come right up here. There's hardly any bees out. Could you, I've got to put some of this into this hole. They're starting to come out now, so hold on. So I'm gonna put these guys back into their hive. They're gonna go in and they're gonna start eating some honey. And what's gonna happen is they're going to get their tummies filled before I bother them too much. And what's going to happen is they can't bend in half to sting at that point once they fill up on honey. So I'm going to give them a minute or so, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to start eating that. So now I'm going to crack open the corner of this, and I'm going to put some more of that in there, calm the rest of them down. At least I'm going to try. It looks like it might be going out. I'm going to hand this to my assistant here in a minute. Okay, they're starting to come out. Could you hand me that other one? I got to keep movement in front of the camera. Okay, you take that one. Yep. Thank you so much. Don't get stung. He's up here without anything on. Well, he's got things on. He doesn't have his equipment on. Let's say that right. Okay, so now, can you hand me that box, please? I've got to take and put a box on top of here. And I have a present for these guys.
Okay, moving.
In just a second, I'm going to give these guys some mints. Because there's some different creatures, these beetles that crawl around inside of here. And these beetles will basically slime everything if I let them go unmanaged. They do not like the smell of the mint, so I'm going to put the mint in here and help the bees out so they don't have to fight them all off. Go ahead and grab the box and hand it to me. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to put that new box on here. And I'm going to move our camera up so you can see what I'm doing. All right. So basically inside this box, you saw the other one had just the comb that was being built out. Now these deeper ones that you saw, the other ones were yellow. This is called a deep box or a brood box, and this is one of the frames that goes in there. Now I painted this wax on here from the cappings of the honey that we just extracted. So that's what all this is. Now these guys are going to come up in here and all the little workers are going to start drawing this out. And what's going to happen is they're going to draw this out and then the queen is going to start laying eggs in here. So hopefully she'll be able to draw it out. They'll be able to draw it out faster. This time of year it's a little tough. We'll see what happens because of the fact that it's late in the season and it's harder for them to produce any wax. So let me get this up just a little bit. I'm going to move you a little bit back so because it keeps saying there's no face. All right, I still got people. Good. All right, I'm doing something right. Hey, yeah. Thanks for coming in, guys. Thanks for supporting. Give me that daily heart me if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate that. Since I've actually never gotten one before, I don't believe. So now I've got to get these guys out of the way so that when I flip this over, they're not going to get hurt. Because every one of these little guys here, every single one of them, makes about 1 teaspoon of honey in their lifetime. So every single one of these that don't make it, that means we get less honey. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back down on there very, very slowly so that they don't get hurt.
Kim, the top is off.
Oh, yeah, we got a fire. Hold on. Well, there's some entertainment for you. Woohoo! Thank you. That's never happened before.
Yeah, I was like, what's that flame?
What's that flame? That one that's catching you on? Never mind. We won't do that. That's not what y'all want to see. Okay. Yeah, it was getting more oxygen all of a sudden, so it decided to flame up. Thank you. I did not see that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my sugar water in here. I hope everybody can hear me okay. So this sugar water is 2 to 1. So it's about 16 pounds of sugar to 1 gallon of water, and I actually melt that down on the stove in a big huge pot. Some of it I put in the refrigerator for later, and some of it comes right out here to the bees as soon as it cools. So now I have 2 done, and these bees are going to be very, very happy because they now have what they call 2 brood boxes. These bigger boxes are the brood boxes, and if you look at some of my other hives, I'll back you up just a little bit. You've got 2 brood boxes and then some shorter ones that are called supers. And the supers are where the bees put the honey. So I have, let's see, 3 more to do, but I only have this. So Gotta go shopping and get more sugar. By the way, sugar is very expensive if you didn't know. So if you're ever thinking about becoming a beekeeper in the north, you better be ready to spend some money on sugar. So here we go. Let's go right on to this one. And get my face up here a little bit and move you back. I just hope you can hear me because I don't have a mic on. I don't even own a mic. I need my hive tool, which I have misplaced somewheres. Ah, there it is, fell on the ground. I'm gonna bring you guys with me, don't get dizzy. Because I know that you're supposed to keep a face on here. Let me bend down here and grab that. All right. So now, hold on. Mechanical problems, there we go. All right, let's go on to this one. There we go. Now, move up just a little bit. I don't know how everybody does this with these cameras. It's actually my phone on a stand, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this at the front of the hive down here. There's not a lot of action because it's a little bit chilly, like I said, and they're probably not wanting me to open these up at all, but gotta do it. So I'm gonna take my hive tool. This part is really handy for picking up the sides of the frames, and this you can pry with. And I'm going to pry up the corner of this. And the bees like to put everything together with what's called propolis. And the propolis is like a glue that they get from trees. It's like a sap. Did you hear that? That was propolis. That was the sound it makes when you break the seal. What they try to do is they try to make their hives so they are like wind resistant, wind proof. If you look right down here, you're gonna see this propolis right here. I'll scrape some of it off so you can get a look at it. Kind of like a glue. So it kind of looks like wood chips when you scrape it off. I think you can see that. But they'll just continue to glue this thing together. It gets thicker and thicker in the winter. We pull you back. It keeps telling me there's no face. I don't know how they expect beekeepers to keep their face on here. I'm gonna do my best. And it says 3 people. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me. This is really my first live where I actually I hopefully am not cutting in and out. Let's give you a shot of those bees. It's chilly. They're not wanting me in here right now. It's probably in the 50s. But I still have to get these bees out of here, because if I don't, they won't survive it when you give them a little of this so they don't sting my hands, because they can sting through these gloves. And just take this out of here. I'm going to move that camera up in just a second so you guys can see, get a better look at these guys. These are all my girls. And like I said, girls, guys, you hear me? They're girls. Most bees are girls. Only about 15%, 10 to 15% are boys. These are all girls, worker bees. You see them in there? So I'm not going to keep them out long because they're moving real slow and they aren't happy. So I'm going to put them down near the front of the hive so they can go back in. Put them down here and they can go right back into their hive. But if I left them in here and use the feeder, what's going to happen is they won't make it. They would actually be deceased in the sugar water. So I'm going to give them a little of this here. Get those guys to go back down into my hive. Go. Come on, ladies. You see this one here? Yeah, look at this guy. Girl. It's like, hey, I'm going to sting you just in case you didn't know. I don't want you here. So this one's being hard to get along with here. You need to go back down in, girl. Come on, go. Thank you. Very good. I'll get them trained yet, you know. I haven't figured out how to train the bees like you can train a dog yet. But I'm doing my best. So we got to get all these guys out of here. So I'm going to just give it a little clunk on the front of the deck down there, right near the front of the hive, so they can go back in. So that's what I'm going to do now. and now they're all coming to get me. So this is what I did. You can see them down here on the deck. See them down there? And they're trying to get back into the front of the hive here. I think you can see that. And they're down here on the bottom. They're really moving quite slow because it's chilly. Hopefully they'll all be smart enough to just go right back in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed them. I'm gonna scoot this little girl right back down in there. There you go. And I got them hanging out on my pockets here. I'm gonna go ahead and feed them. I'll move the camera up so you can see a little better. Guys, thanks for being with me. I'm Grandma, Beekeeping with Grandma, and I'm from Central New York. And starting to get cold, feeding the bees so that they can get more supplies got ready for the winter. And after we take their honey that we're gonna take, we don't take all of it. Whatever amount we take earlier in the season, and then we start feeding them this sugar water that we put on the stove and make. So now they can come up through that hole you saw, and they can take the sugar water back down with them, and they can put that into the little cells in those frames that you saw. All right, let me move this up so we got some movement on this camera. I'm gonna put the top on here. My face is here. It still says no face. I don't know how they're gonna detect a face through this thing, but it is what it is, and we'll go from there. I'm moving, I'm doing my job, so hopefully we'll be okay. All right, so let's see here. Now we're gonna go on to the next one. Let me turn you right around here. This is hive number 3. I'm gonna get me in here too. And I'm gonna take and put some of this. Boy, it's cold out and this thing is not wanting to do its job. It's cooling down quick. Other than when I accidentally set it on fire. Now I got a bee after me. There we go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna open up this hive. This is hive number 3. This is one of my 2 strongest hives. That one we just did. I got between this hive and the one I just did, first year beekeeping, I actually got 75 pounds of honey. So a lot of people that first start beekeeping, they really don't even get honey the first year. So I did pretty good, but I had an advantage. I have a good friend who lives down south that started me out with some sorry, I got hair in my face. My hair is extremely long. It's way down, way down. I'll just say it that way. So I got to get all these bees out of here. Come on, girls. All right, so they're out of there. So these guys are gonna come out and start not being nice. I'm glad I picked this now though, because it is very, very cold. And they're kind of chill, so this is good. So we're gonna get all those bees out of that so nobody gets trapped inside that box when I do this. And I need to get these bees out of the way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just do it this way. Come on, baby. Let's go. Up you come. Come on. There you go. Nope. Come on. There you go. Say hello to everybody. There she is. They're not so scary, guys. They really aren't. So let's see if we can scoot the rest of these guys down in there. And she's not happy. Look, she's actually trying to sting me right now. Can you see that? Where are you? All right. Oh, she's going after my face. I can hear her. When they come up to your face and they start making this buzzing noise, that's when they want to sting. But guess what? They can't sting through this, so that's awesome. You see something here. I can't move nothing with my gloves on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue feeding. I mean, this is the biggest thing you got to do right now, this time of year, is feed. But very soon I'm going to be changing a lot of things with my hives. I've got to move boxes around because I've got weaker hives that actually couldn't store up enough supplies. So these hives that are better supplied, they've got bigger numbers. So I actually was able to put more boxes, more supers on, like this one. This is a super, see how it's shorter, and this is shorter, and the ones on the bottom are deeper. These are where the babies are. These are brood boxes. So I was actually able to stick a couple of supers on each one of these so that they could start drawing them out, these bigger hives. So I could take one of the supers and put it on some of my smaller hives so that they could help them get through the winter. So, and then all of a sudden toward the end, we had a little mishap, and we were trying hard to get one of the hives to produce their own queen, and we didn't think they were. So what we had to do was we went and bought a new queen. And then the day we went to set her free, we found another queen. So they had made a new queen, and we didn't know. So now we ended up with a 5th hive. So that was the one you just saw me put the 2nd box on. So now these 2 big hives have to babysit that small hive for the winter, because otherwise they wouldn't make it. All right, so let's move on. We've got one more hive to do out of our 5. I'm going to go ahead and turn you guys around. I really hope this isn't going in and out. I apologize if it is. Oops. Okay.